What's up guys, Anthony here with Visual Anthony, and today we're going to build out the cameras that we use for 100% of our projects. Check one, check. Levels are looking good. Professional. What we got? What are you talking about? You're going to be doing... Oh, did we lose it? Anthony, that's not very professional. We got a clapper. Take a little drink and let's get into it. All right, so basically we're working with a base camera of the Panasonic GH5S. I feel like I don't need to explain why I chose this camera, but 4K 60 internal, and being able to output to something like the Atomos recorders, getting the full potential. We've been looking at upgrading to the S1H, but with the Canon R5 coming out and then the Sony A7S III coming out, we're just kind of like, let's hold off for a second. Let's let these cameras make their rounds. So first we have like a little rig that I built out, mainly with some, y'all can see that there, mainly with some Smallrig parts, Manfrotto plate. We have the Smallrig 15mm block with some rods in there. The Lanparte little doohickey, I don't really know the exact name for it, but it's got the, I wanted something, I didn't want to have just a shoulder pad because I don't always shoot up here. Actually, very rarely do I shoot up here. So I wanted something that I could easily press up against my body, you know, like this. So when I'm shooting, you know, so when I found that, and I'll put the link and the name and all that stuff in the description. Off the top of my head, I'm not really sure, but I think it was like $100, and it actually came with an extension too. It's got the rosette mount, so it actually will even come further off, but I didn't need anything like that. I just wanted something that I can dig into my chest without having those rods piercing me. All right, so yeah, we basically have that set up there, and this is kind of like the base of what we're working with. We're running with a little dummy battery for the GH5. So what we do is we pop that dummy battery in there, and it's routed, so it's pretty much stationary on the rods. So we got the camera on the base, everything's good. Got the battery in there, dummy battery, which goes to the D-tap, which we'll get to that here in a second. So what we do is we move on to this JTZ C5 CCUPS. So basically it's a universal power supply. This is one of two models. I opted for this model. It's slightly more expensive just simply because it has four 18650 batteries in it. So being able to have this on your kit or have this on your rig, and you put your V mounts on there, if that V mount is to ever go dead, you have four pretty big batteries supporting you until you can get some more power on that thing. So we just lock that down right there. Oh, and one thing I do like to do is I always like to have my camera monitor visible at all times, and once I actually put the V mount and the plate on there, that I can't just open and close. So pull that monitor out there. Now we'll lock it back down. Flip that around like that. I like to press it up against the camera, make it look like one piece. So when I'm on set or when I'm shooting something, people are just like, man, what kind of camera is that? It's got a couple handles. We've got a side handle here, still a Smallrig. Side handle is just cold shoe. Give me something. I used to have some handles on the front, but I downgraded from having such long rods on the camera that I just wanted to keep it short. So even when I have the Mattebox on there, I can just go old school with it and just grab that Mattebox. All right, so we'll put this top handle on right here. The cage we are running is also a Smallrig, if you haven't caught the pattern. So there we are, got the top handle on there, and then, so we have this little contraption here. If y'all can see that, if that's in focus. It's a short 15mm rod with a monitor mount. Kind of offsets it backwards a little bit so it's not all up on me. I broke this little lever, so you just, you know, you should always have a multi-tool on you. So what we do is we just cinch this thing down a little bit. Once you put a little oomph on it. Come on, mosquitoes. Come on, mosquitoes. All right, there's that. We are running the Atomos Ninja V, Ninja 5. I used to run the Inferno, but it was just so big. So basically I had the Ninja or the Inferno on this camera, and then I had bought a Ninja 5 for the B-Cam, and I love this thing so much that I end up selling the Inferno and getting a second Ninja V. So now I can run a lightweight monitor on the gimbal if I need to, but I also have a lightweight monitor on the main camera. And if we ever upgrade to, say, something like the S1H or the EVA, we can take advantage of that raw footage. Where we at? Let's put a lens on there, okay? The go-to lens for the A-Cam is the Canon L series, 24-70. So we're rocking that a lot of times. I'm not going to do it right now, but I like to run the Tiffen Pro Mist, the black Pro Mist filter 1/4, and then a lot of times I will run the a circular ND or variable ND, but now that I've upgraded to the Polar Pro Mattebox, I don't need to do that. So, but we'll get there when we get there. Juicebox V-mounts, the only V-mount batteries for us. So, if you're looking for a good V-mount battery brand, reliable, good quality, I did a video on those, short little review, so be sure to go check that out. All right, here we are. Let's run some cables real quick. On the cable management side of things, I basically have this adapter for the Ninja V. So yeah, I just plug this into the back, and then I just wrap it around this top handle here. Get me some nice cable management so I don't have cables going everywhere. It's a pet peeve of mine. Run it right under the viewfinder here, and you got to have this little adapter to go into the plate. The battery plate does come with it, so if you need to hook up anything more than that and utilize all these ports on the side of this thing, you can do that as well. Take a little swig, put a little HDMI cable in here. Where do we stand? Where do we stand? Yeah, it's pretty much complete. Pretty simple thing. We're just going to throw this microphone on here right now. Let this guy come through. He was probably going to get on it a little bit. Let us know he's just living it up. Maybe not. Respect. I like it. Good neighbors, good neighbors. We're using the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. We also have the Pro, and it is amazing, but having that feature of the microphone powering on and powering off with the camera power and that was definitely something that was missing on the original Pro. But yeah, this is pretty, whoop. So I used to run a Fotga, F-O-T-G-A, Fotga brand Mattebox, and it was great. It had the swing open armed, and the reason why I got the swing open is because of running like something like a variable ND, but it was just, if I'm running the variable ND with the Mattebox, because I didn't have proper filters for the Mattebox. If I can be honest, I got the Mattebox because it was nice and big, and it just made me look more professional. But we moved on because we needed something that's efficient, right? We need something that actually works and makes sense for the jobs that we're doing, okay? So when Polar Pro, and I am not paid to say this by no means, they didn't send me this. I paid for this thing with my own money. I had to take out at least a third mortgage. But when I saw this thing having the polarization within the matte box and the filters, and then also the way that you can flip the thing to then act as neutral density was amazing. So I definitely had to splurge, and I still like the Fotka matte box, but I 100% had to splurge to get this guy. So usually I'll have the Tiffen Black Pro Mist filter on the lens, and I run those Tiffen Black Pro Mist on every lens. So I have a setup to where I can kind of go between the Sigma 18-35 and the 70-200 without having to really change a whole lot, other than like unscrewing the filter. But if you're shooting video, I don't know if they would, is that a photo thing too? But if you're shooting video and you want those nice, soft, creamy, nice looking shots, I highly suggest investing in Black Pro Mist filters. They're not cheap, but they are worth it, and I love them. So I always have the Pro Mist on there, and then I just, if y'all can, I guess I'll turn this on there. So you see, it just threads onto the lens. It's got the diameters. I think it comes with an 82 and a 77, which just so happens to be the only two filter sizes that I use. So what we do is we just slide that guy on there, put some tension on this little rod there. I'm OCD, so I like to make sure it's lined up straight, looking good. Look at that. So there we are. Comes with the little hood. And that's the camera. This is the A-cam. This is pretty much what we're working with all the time. Sometimes we'll hop off the 24-70. We'll throw on the 70-200. It's basically a hodgepodge. Panasonic GH5S, Canon glass, Polar Pro, Mattebox, Atomos, Ninja V, monitor recorders. We got Rode for the audio, Juicebox, V-mount batteries on a JTZ battery plate. So basically what that looks like when we're shooting, 90% of the time I have the pad vertical like that. I'm pressing that into my chest, and I can pretty much pull focus from here. If I need to adjust anything on the matte box, I can adjust it right there and not really have to change up anything. Again, with the top handle, I can pretty much just rock it like that. Everything I need, if I need to adjust stuff on the recorder, I can do that. So that's the A-cam. Let's go ahead and move over to the B camera. I'll sit that there, bring that down. B camera is pretty simple. Most of the time it's sitting on a gimbal. I used to use this big guy here, which is heavy. So now I only break that out when I have a crew with me, and I can just say, hey, you run this, and I'll just look at the shout out to Kevin, shout out to Brad. So but then I was looking into a smaller, we started traveling a lot, specifically air travel. So we shot this past year, we shot some in Kansas City, we shot some in Phoenix, and we shot in Mobile, but we drove that. Where else did we go? Baltimore. So then we went to Baltimore and did some interviews for a case study for a client of ours. Traveling with this guy was just, I wasn't gonna put it in some kind of checked luggage. It's not gonna fit in any carry-on because, you know, I never fly by myself for a project. So I'm always taking these Pelican 1510s. They're certified carry-on size. So my second guy will carry one as a carry-on, and then his personal luggage and anything he wants to check. And then I'll carry the other 1510 with my bag. I'm thinking about doing a video for that, specifically for flying with your gear, and a compact, low profile kit that you can take with you to do just small stuff like B-roll footage, interviews, and stuff like that. But let's get back to business. So B-Cam is pretty simple. Again, Panasonic GH5S. 90% of the time it does live on the gimbals. For this particular gimbal, the Zhiyun Weebill S, I like it because it has the plate that you can adjust, and I've done a video about it, but the plate you can adjust on the actual gimbal, but then it has the quick release on the camera. So you don't have to, when you're putting the camera back on, so I'm taking it off, putting it back on, taking it off, putting it back on. When I'm putting the camera back on, I don't have to worry about it being level or balanced because the actual plate that it sits on is balanced, if that makes sense. So all I have, it's got these little teeth at the back, and you just press, goes down, and you can secure it with that screw, boom. So being able to quick release and just have the camera, if I need to shoot here, shoot there, do whatever, or I just want to take it with me on a trip or whatever, I don't have to take anything off of it. For this setup, we're also using the Atomos Ninja V, Ninja 5, whichever one you prefer. We're running a little Smallrig magic arm on there, and it pretty much just stays on the gimbal. It's set, that's where it is. You can see, you can kind of see the magic arm. It's got a 1/4 inch thread, right? It's got a 1/4 inch thread right there. So I just thread that, that magic arm on there, and it's good to go. I'm not going to be able to put a lens on this one for this video, just simply because I'm using the 18 to 35 Sigma on this camera over here. So I apologize for that. The unfortunate part about the gimbal and this setup here is I can't use a beefy battery like the V mounts that I use for the 8 camera. So the next best thing is these MPF 750 batteries. I just pop those on there. Those pretty much will last me through a day or two of shooting. And I have to use the Panasonic batteries for the camera. Maybe one day I'll actually dive in and just try to rig this thing out to where it can last me all day, but I'd say 80% of the time I'm running handheld anyway, so the gimbal is only there if there's just a shot that I just have to get with the gimbal, or if it's specifically requested by the client. That's pretty much it. Those are the 2 camera systems that I use all of the time, unless a project requires something different and then we have to rent or figure something else out. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing. And, you know, I want to bring more of these. So definitely be on the lookout. I want to do one, basically the same kind of setup, but more for travel, specifically air travel and flying with your gear, and how we basically can fly without having to have that worry of checking a lot of expensive equipment. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, just don't give it a thumbs down. You know? This is what it looks like. Love you guys. Until next time, go create something. Yeah, just create something. I love y'all. Also, if you like that shirt, go ahead and pick you up one of those Visual Anthony body armor shirts designed by humans. I'll put the link in the description.